Hey, what's up guys? This is Nick with Mystery Mountain Outdoors, and today I'm in Idaho. I've got 1 month before my season opens and I am looking for mule deer. I'm sitting up on a point. It's about 6:15, 6:20, so I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to take a second and talk about the spotting scope I'm using today. This is the Meopta S2. It is one of their higher end HD glass. It is a 82 millimeter objective, and currently I have the 20 to 70 zoom eyepiece on it, and it is interchangeable. They have wide angle lenses and so on. First off, right off the bat, I want to say that I'm not paid by Meopta. I have no endorsement deal or anything else. I'm a guy that likes to hunt, and I spend a lot of time in the field. And talking with Meopta, they sent me some of their optics, and they wanted me to put them through the paces this year and torture test them and give them some feedback. So what I thought I would do, because I'm the kind of guy that really likes to research my gear before I ever buy anything, is I wanted to give you guys a little bit of just some basic stuff about this if you've never had an opportunity to look through it. I know that Meopta is not very well recognized in the US, especially in the western states. Out in the hunting industry. They're known in the birding industry a little bit. Meopta is a European company, and they actually do a lot of medical equipment in glass. So the sport optics division for them is not something that is well known yet, but I have to say their glass is very top tier. This particular spotting scope is one of their highest end, if not the highest end model they have. I think it retails for roughly $2,300. You could probably get it on sale a little bit. Online is really the only source I've seen, at least in Idaho. But I just wanted to go over a couple quick things. You know, if you don't get an opportunity to look through something and compare it in the field, it's nice to have a little bit of feedback of what somebody else is seen and used and etc. So I personally have the Vortex Razor HD 20 to 60 to 85, the first generation, and I've used all of the other spotting scopes. Multiple friends of mine or people that I've hunted with have had all the different spotting scopes, and we've had an opportunity to compare them all. The one that is pretty popular right now with the backcountry guys is Kawa, and I have not had an opportunity to use those a whole lot, so I can't speak for that. That said, I wanted to talk about what I think in comparison to the optics that I've used in the past. So a couple key things that I want to talk about are how does it perform in low light and in the sun, because those are two things that'll get you, especially if you're a hunter. If you're using this in those situations, you're going to be looking into the sun, you're going to get that gray wash, or if it's first thing in the morning or last thing at night, you really need your optics to perform at high level. And so those are a couple key things. And then just how it performs in a general aspect. How does the glass compare to the others? So let's dive into the first thing. I had an opportunity to use this year where I was looking at a mountainside with my Vortex, and my buddy was using this, and we'd both seen a group of bucks come out. It was last part of the evening, the sun was setting over the mountain, and I spotted the deer, and I could tell there were deer, but I really couldn't tell if they were bucks or anything, and I had such a whitewash view through my Vortex that I was having a hard time. And he starts telling me that one's got a cheater and all these other things, and I was thinking, how in the heck can he see that? And so I took a look through this and compared it, and holy cow, it is a huge difference. I don't know if it's 100% attributed to the lens coatings, but they have something going on here with the glass that it makes it just perform really well in a situation where you have a lot of light reflecting off the lens and everything else. Then low light. This is a 20 to 70 zoom. A lot of the companies now are coming out with like a minimum power of 27, and they go to 60 and so on. I was a little skeptical of a 20 to 70. I figured anything past 45 to 50, it would start to taper off, and your quality would degrade. You know, it just continue to go down as you zoomed up. But I have to say that it performs really, really well, and actually having that little bit extra, that 1670, has come in handy often. You know, I like to run my spotting scope at 20 power, 20 to 30 most of the time, 90% of the time. When I finally see an animal, I may want to zoom in and get a little bit of it, and that's where this thing shines. So you have that you have that ability to go down to 20 and get a very large field of view for scanning, and then you have obviously the ability to go up to 20, from 20 to 70, and really zoom in. So I was really impressed with that. In low light, you do have the ability to pull this out and use it as a sunshade, or I'm sorry, in a sunny situation, but I have not had to use it. Right now I've got the sun just right over my shoulder here. It's probably, you know, washing my face out with my hat, but it's not been an issue. I've been able to glass with it no problem. So that's one of the key things that I think that I've noticed in comparison to other optics is the lens coatings and how it performs in those situations. More of a general aspect, let's talk about the glass. So the glass, when you look through it, it has edge-to-edge clarity. It has the colors stay really true all the way to the edge, and it's hard to explain until you look through it. The colors and the clarity is top-notch. This is a very top-tier glass. I would compare it to Swarovski or any of the top brands, no question. And actually, when I've compared them side by side, I was having a hard time telling the difference. So if you have something like a Vortex, it's just, this is going to be in a whole different class. If you have a Swarovski or something like that, it'd be very, very similar in my opinion. I'd like to use them more side by side to make a final judgment. But I mean, it's really hard to beat this glass. It's, like I said, it just performs really, really well. A couple of the general features about this thing. I am a spec guy. I do pay attention to every little detail, but for this video I just want to talk about functionality and let you look the specs up and from the website and so on. So functionality wise, this is the straight configuration. The plate on this thing is actually modeled after a Manfrotto style base plate. I have a different style base plate on this one, which is a slider, and I can adjust it back and forth. But if you have the old school click in, you don't even have to put a plate on this thing, so that's kind of a neat feature. You obviously can rotate the thing like any other optic out there right now, so that's nice. It does have the sunshade like I was talking about, also a nice feature. It's got a very tactile feel on the zoom. This is a 20 to 70 like I was saying, so it just feels really, really good, and it'll hold whatever you set it at. So if you're putting it in and out of a pack, you're running and gunning, you don't have to worry about this thing moving on you. The focus ring is right here. It's very, very smooth, so if you're focusing while using the optic, you don't have a lot of shake in the optic, which some of them do that. So this one feels really, really good. It's got kind of a rubberized texture. The one drawback I will say about this is I have had it get completely out of focus in my pack. And so when I pull it out of my pack, I got to sit there and refocus it. That's just the nature of this style barrel focus. Couple other things, that it obviously has a turn in and turn out eye cup. It is a rubberized piece on the outside with an aluminum outer ring, I guess you could call it. So I do appreciate that it's all metal, but one thing I will say that it is not my favorite is the rubber is fairly squared off at the edge and roughly I mean, it's not very padded. So when you're using it for a long time on your eye, you can start to kind of get an irritation, if you will. I prefer kind of a rounded, more padded rubber style. So it is what it is on that. The other couple little basic things about this is the caps for it. It has a snap-in cap for the front. It seems to stay fairly well, but there's no way to attach it to the scope. So when you pull it off, it's just in your hand. And then they've got a little rubber piece that goes on the end here, and it doesn't fit very well, and it tends to fall off all the time. So I actually have a setup right now, because this is not my personal, is I took a sock and I slide the sock on like this, and then I roll the sock back to use the optic, and I use that on the front. And then on the other side, I've got the other end of the sock that I cut, and I'm just pulling it over like that. So I'm sure that somebody in the industry is making some sort of neoprene cover. It doesn't necessarily need it for the outside. It's a really rugged rubber texture, but to protect your lenses, it definitely needs something. So that's something to think about. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm gonna get back to glassing before the sun goes down and see if I can't turn up a couple good bucks. If you liked this video, go to our Facebook page, Mystery Mountain Outdoors, give us a like and see some of the other things we're doing. If you want more information on Meopta, I'll put a link in the description below to their website. You can check out everything they've got. I've actually got a couple more reviews coming up, so keep an eye out. I've got the spotting scope, which they call the TGA 75. It's a collapsible, rubberized packing scope, 75mm objective. It's pretty awesome. That's going to be a scope that I use in the backcountry, and it's one that you can collapse and put in your pack, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's fairly lightweight. So take a look at our videos. We should have a review coming out for that. And then I also have their top tier 1042 binoculars, the B1, that I'm going to be doing a review on as well. So like I said, if you like what you saw, keep an eye out, and we'll have some more content and some more Meopta stuff coming up. So thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.